Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So today we're tackling, well, it's pretty heavy stuff, actually. We're looking at the book of Ecclesiastes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, chapters 4 through 6. And, those who follow the show know that we like to, really get into the nitty gritty of things. So
Yes.
we're diving deep into, some of those big, big questions.
Right.
Oppression, companionship, wealth, even, our attitude toward God, all this from this ancient, sometimes really cryptic book.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can unearth some timeless wisdom,
I
huh?
love that. What always strikes me about Ecclesiastes is its honesty.
Yeah.
It's unflinching.
Yeah.
Doesn't shy away from the tough stuff, the realities of being human,
Yeah.
Like, for instance, the fact that oppression.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a constant.
It really is. And the text doesn't waste any time.
No.
It throws us right into this really stark scene. I have seen all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of the oppressed, and they had no one to comfort them. On the side of their oppressors there was power, and there was no one to comfort them.
Heavy stuff.
It is. And it gets even heavier, actually. Yeah, the writer goes on to suggest that the dead are better off than the living.
Wow.
And then even, this is really jarring. It says it would have been better to have never been born at all.
That's a bleak outward.
It is. It really makes you stop and think, like, how do we even begin to make sense of that kind of perspective?
Right.
Is it pure despair, or is there something deeper there?
Well, I think it's important to understand the context.
Okay.
This isn't necessarily an endorsement of nihilism or anything like that.
Right.
It's more it's an expression of deep disillusionment
Mm-hmm.
with the injustices of the world.
Yeah.
Imagine witnessing suffering and just feeling powerless to change it.
Oh,
That kind of futility, it can make life feel unbearable.
yeah. It really makes you question, what's the point?
Exactly.
If things are just going to stay broken. But then
Yeah.
almost like this a ray of light, Ecclesiastes turns to something else. This powerful, powerful antidote to despair,
What's that?
companionship.
Ah, okay.
It's a huge shift in tone.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we hear two are better than one because they have a good reward for their toil.
Interesting.
And then the text just goes on to explain all the benefits of having someone by your side,
I see.
someone to share the burdens with.
Yeah, and notice how vivid the imagery is.
Oh, yeah.
It really drives that point home.
Yeah.
We hear things like, for if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who's alone when he falls, and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone.
Right.
If you want to go far, go together.
Exactly. And it's not just about the practical support,
Right.
having someone to help you out when you're down. It's also about the emotional warmth,
Yeah.
and that resilience that comes from sharing life's burdens.
Makes you stronger.
Yeah. But even within those relationships,
Hmm.
we're reminded that wisdom is key.
Okay.
And Ecclesiastes, I think, throws us another curveball here
Okay.
when it says that a poor but wise youth is better than an old and foolish king.
No, that is counterintuitive.
It is.
Right. We usually think of age and power as being connected to wisdom. So how does this fit into the picture?
Well, I think it highlights the importance of adaptability
Okay.
and, having an open mind.
Yeah.
A young person, even if they're disadvantaged,
Mm-hmm.
they have potential for growth.
Right.
Whereas the old king, stuck in his ways,
Yeah.
represents stagnation.
Interesting.
So it begs a question. What good is authority or wealth
Yeah.
if you're unable to learn and adapt?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a reminder that true wisdom, it doesn't automatically come with age or status.
No.
It's about staying open to new ideas
Yeah.
and experiences throughout your whole life, always willing to learn and grow. I wonder if this connects to what comes next about, our approach to God.
It's a natural progression, I think. Because approaching the divine,
Yeah.
according to Ecclesiastes, requires a similar humility
Mm.
and sincerity. There's that really striking line. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. To draw near to listen is better than to offer the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they are doing evil. It's a caution
Okay.
against those empty rituals,
Yeah.
or those grandiose promises. True reverence.
Yeah.
It's about a sincere heart, attentiveness,
Yeah.
and a willingness to listen.
I think it's easy to get caught up in the outward show of faith,
Oh, absolutely.
without actually cultivating that inner connection.
It's about aligning your actions
Yeah.
with a deeper understanding.
Not just going through the motions,
Right.
but then
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes kind of yanks us back to reality
Yeah.
with this really harsh reminder about oppression
Yeah.
and how it's actually built into systems of power.
Right. The text says, "If you see in a province the poor oppressed and justice and righteousness trampled underfoot, do not be astonished at the matter, for the high official is watched by a higher, and there are yet higher ones over them."
Yeah, that imagery is disturbing.
It is.
Of, one official watching over another.
Yeah.
It suggests this whole chain of potential abuse,
Yeah.
and it's disturbingly relevant today.
Sadly, yeah. It resonates across cultures and throughout history.
It does.
This abuse of power.
Yeah.
The exploitation of the vulnerable. These are recurring themes
They are.
in human experience. And Ecclesiastes reminds us that even systems
Yeah.
that are designed to uphold justice
Right.
can become corrupted.
It's a sobering reality check,
It is.
especially after, talking about wisdom and doing what's right. It seems like a natural lead-in to one of the book's most prominent themes,
What's the...
the complexities of wealth.
Oh, yeah. The good and the bad. Absolutely. Ecclesiastes really digs into the allure of it, the pitfalls of it,
Yeah.
and ultimately, the limitations of wealth
Okay.
when it comes to actually finding fulfillment.
Right. There's so much to unpack here.
I know.
There's that line that says, "He who loves money will not be satisfied with money."
Yeah.
And then there's the observation that, rich people, they often have trouble sleeping peacefully. It's a pretty bleak picture.
Yeah, it kind of is. And we even hear about, hoarding wealth.
Yeah.
The text warns, as he came from his mother's womb, he shall go again, naked as he came, and shall take nothing for his toil that he may carry away in his hand.
Wow. It really makes you think, right?
It does. Makes you wonder, if material success doesn't guarantee contentment,
Right.
what does?
That's a great question.
It is. And it seems like Ecclesiastes, offers a bit of a surprising answer.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, instead of chasing after riches, Ecclesiastes suggests finding fulfillment in the simple things.
Okay.
Enjoying your work,
Mm-hmm.
appreciating good food and drink,
Mm-hmm.
sharing life with those you love.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that passage that really, really stuck with me.
Yeah.
It says, "There is nothing better for a person than that he should eat and drink and find enjoyment in his toil. This also I saw is from the hand of God, for apart from him, who can eat or who can enjoy?" It's like this call to, to savor
Yeah.
the present moment rather than always striving for something more.
It's about recognizing that
Yeah.
that true joy often lies in those everyday experiences,
Right.
the ones we tend to overlook.
The little things.
Yeah, but this acceptance of simple pleasures,
Right.
it's intertwined with a profound awareness of, of life's brevity.
Right, right. And the text uses some really evocative imagery.
Yeah.
To drive that point home.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking of the line that says, "What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun."
That speaks to
Yeah.
the cyclical nature of life, right?
Right.
That idea that we're all part of this larger pattern
Yeah.
that extends beyond, our individual existence.
Yeah. And that sense of continuity, it can be, I don't know, it can
Yeah.
be comforting,
Right.
but also a bit unsettling, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I see that.
Like it humbles us,
Yeah.
Reminds us that we're not the center of the universe,
Right.
but also that we're part of something much bigger
Yeah, yeah.
than ourselves. And then there's that other powerful image of man as a shadow.
Oh, right.
Ecclesiastes says, "For man is a shadow and goes after the wind. He doesn't even know what will happen. Who can tell him what will happen after he's gone?"
It's a stark reminder
It is.
of our mortality.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fleeting nature of our time here, it's
Yeah.
something a lot of people try to avoid,
Oh, yeah.
but Ecclesiastes suggests that confronting it,
Right.
however uncomfortable it might be,
Yeah.
it can actually lead to a deeper appreciation for life.
Makes sense.
When we acknowledge
Yeah.
our limitations,
Yeah.
we can focus on what truly matters.
Right. It encourages us to, to live with intention to make each day count. But it also raises that question
What's
that's for who knows what is good for man in life. All the days of his vain life that he passes like a shadow. For who can tell man what will be after him under the sun?
It's a tough one.
It is. If we don't even know
Yeah.
what's truly good for us,
Mm.
how are we supposed to navigate, this brief and uncertain existence?
Well, I think that's the paradox, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That Ecclesiastes presents us with. We're encouraged
Yeah.
to embrace
Yeah.
life's simple pleasures,
Right.
but at the same time, to acknowledge
Uh-huh.
that there are limits to our knowledge
Right.
and that death is inevitable.
Hmm.
But this isn't,
Okay.
it's not a recipe for despair.
Right.
It's more like an invitation
Okay.
to live with a sense of wonder
Yeah.
and humility.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's about, letting go
Oh, yeah.
of the need to control everything.
Mm.
Accepting that some things are just going to remain a mystery,
Right.
and finding joy in the
Yeah.
journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this brings us back to, to that essential role of companionship in the face of all this uncertainty.
Yeah.
The text reminds us
Yeah.
that we don't have to face it alone.
We're stronger together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We see that emphasis again and again
Mm.
on the value of connection. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow.
Yeah.
But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up.
Powerful stuff. It highlights, the strength and the resilience that we get
Yeah.
from sharing life's burdens,
Yeah.
its joys.
It's not just about the practical support, it's about the emotional connection.
Right, right. The shared experience of
Yeah.
being human.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But while Ecclesiastes celebrates companionship,
Hmm.
it also doesn't shy away
Okay.
from addressing
Right.
the darker aspects of human nature,
Yeah.
particularly the allure
Mm.
and the potential pitfalls.
Right. It
Ooh.
goes beyond just saying, money can't buy happiness.
Right.
It gives these really vivid descriptions
Yeah.
of the ways that wealth can actually become a source of anxiety and dissatisfaction.
Right. We see, the person who loves silver will not be satisfied with silver, nor he who loves abundance with increase.
Yeah. It's never enough.
Right. And then we see the rich person who cannot sleep because he's so worried about his wealth.
Yeah. It's thought-provoking. It
Yeah.
really challenges us
Yeah.
to examine our own relationship with material possessions. It prompts us to ask, are we seeking wealth as a means to an end or as an end in itself?
Good question.
And are we letting the pursuit of riches overshadow the things that really matter?
Those are questions that lead us to the heart of what Ecclesiastes is trying to tell us.
Okay.
It's not about, condemning wealth
Yeah.
outright,
Yeah.
but about recognizing its limitations
Yeah.
and achieving lasting fulfillment.
Mhm.
True contentment,
Mm.
it comes from a different source.
So if material wealth isn't the key, what does Ecclesiastes offer as a path to genuine satisfaction?
Well, it points us towards
Yeah.
a life that's lived in alignment with our purpose,
Okay.
a life grounded in gratitude, meaningful work,
Yeah.
and an authentic connection with others. It's a message that still resonates,
Yeah.
even thousands of years later.
It really does. It transcends time and culture.
Yeah.
Because it speaks to something deep in the human experience.
Yeah.
We all long for meaning and
Mhm.
purpose
Mhm.
and connection. And Ecclesiastes reminds us that those things, they they can't be found in external achievements or
No.
possessions, they have to be cultivated from within.
It's about
Yeah.
finding joy in the journey, appreciating the simple gifts,
Yeah.
and embracing the mystery
Yeah.
of our existence. And as we approach the final section
Mm.
of our deep dive,
Right.
we're confronted with the theme that kind of hangs over
Yeah.
all these reflections,
It
the inevitability of death.
feels like, we've been dancing around this idea of death
Yeah.
from the very beginning.
It's there
It is.
in the background
Yeah.
of everything Ecclesiastes explores.
It's a reality that casts a shadow over everything.
And the text doesn't shy away from confronting it head on,
No, it doesn't.
Like we hear it in that really stark statement. For all flesh is like grass, and all its glory like the flower of grass. The grass withers and the flower falls, but the word of the Lord remains forever.
There's this urgency that comes through
Mm.
in those words.
Right.
A recognition that our time, it's limited,
Yeah.
it's precious.
And it challenges us to really consider,
Yeah.
how we want to spend those
Well,
precious days.
Are we chasing after fleeting things,
Hmm.
or are we investing in what truly matters?
It's a good question.
It is, but even with that awareness,
Yeah.
there's still that lingering question that Ecclesiastes raises. No man knows his time. Like fish that are taken in an evil net, and like birds that are caught in a snare, so the children of man are snared at an evil time when it suddenly falls upon them.
It speaks to the
Yeah,
unpredictability.
the randomness of it.
Yeah, that we're not.
We're not in control of
No,
when our time will come.
it's a reminder to live with a sense of intention,
Yeah,
but also surrender.
it's a tough balance, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
We can make plans, we
Right.
can strive towards our goals,
Mm-hmm.
but ultimately we have to accept that some things are just beyond our control.
I think that's where the wisdom of Ecclesiastes really comes in. It doesn't offer easy answers
Right.
or a step-by-step guide to a perfect life.
Mhm.
It encourages us to, I don't know, to embrace the paradox,
Mm.
the joy and the sorrow,
Yeah.
the striving and the surrender
Right.
that make up, the human experience.
And maybe in that process
Yeah.
of questioning
Mm,
and seeking,
right.
we find a kind of meaning
Okay.
that transcends, the fleeting nature
Right.
of our individual lives.
It's not about, achieving some grand legacy or leaving your mark on history. It's about
Yeah.
living each day
Mm.
with authenticity, cultivating gratitude
Right.
for the simple gifts.
The little thing.
The little things, yeah. And finding joy, in the midst of life's, inevitable challenges.
It's about recognizing
Mm-hmm.
that true wealth, it doesn't lie in what we accumulate,
Right.
but in how we live, how
Yeah.
we love, how we connect with the world around us.
So we come to the end of our deep dive
Yeah.
into Ecclesiastes.
A lot to think about.
I know we covered a lot of ground.
We did.
We explored oppression, companionship, wisdom, wealth,
Right.
the ever-present reality of death.
It's all there.
But I think what stays with me is the book's invitation to embrace the mystery of life, to find meaning in the midst of uncertainty,
Right.
to cherish those fleeting moments that we're given.
I think that's a message that stays with you
Yeah, it does.
long after you close the book.
It's a good reminder
Yeah.
to live with intention, with gratitude,
Right.
and a deep appreciation for the gift of each day. I hope this deep dive, has given you some food for thought.
Yeah.
Some new perspectives on these age-old questions. And as we wrap up, I wanna leave you with one final thought
Okay.
to ponder. If, as Ecclesiastes suggests, life is a vapor, a fleeting shadow, how will you choose to spend your time under the sun?